So I've worked with CEOs directly. I've worked with founders directly. I've worked with managers directly. I have been accountable. They have been accountable. When they don't do their shit, I call them out on it. Creative industries. I've worked with YNR. YNR. I've worked with McCann. The thing is, I'm going on the grounds of accountability. It's not a one-time thing. Accountability is not a one-time thing. First of all, if you aren't following my LinkedIn, you don't know what's going on with me professionally, I suggest you follow me on LinkedIn. Buzz has a new job. Okay, here's another video that I would like to share based on my experiences working abroad as well as working here in Brunei. First of all, if you aren't following my LinkedIn, you don't know what's going on with me professionally, I suggest you follow me on LinkedIn so you know what Buzz is up to, because Buzz has a new job. Alright, but I'm not here to talk about that. I want to talk about professional responsibility. And where am I going with that? I'm going on the grounds of accountability. What is accountability, Buzz? Accountability is the act of responsibility professionally. Not only to yourself, to your team as well, to you socially, to you professionally. Now, if you're unlucky, like myself, you may have had encounters with people who don't uphold accountability, who do not have the skills of accountability. Neither, maybe, if you're in a culture where that is not even implemented in the country, in the workplace. I have had a displeasure of recently experiencing a company where they were not accountable for their actions. So I just want to kind of address this issue where the world is changing. People are starting to get a little bit more professional. So I suggest a lot of companies need to start implementing this and taking responsibility of their actions, where it's good or where it's bad. First of all, in leadership, accountability starts with you. Yes, whoever you are, you could be a team member, a manager, a deputy manager, CEO, deputy CEO, whatever it is, maybe even a stakeholder or a founder of a company. You need to start this with yourself. As you know, leadership defines culture, and culture starts with you and your team, with you first. Leaders need to model a behavior, and part of this is being accountable for things, being responsible for your actions and the actions of your team members and the company. When they see that you take ownership of any sort of responsibility, whether it be good or bad, they will model it for themselves as well. So the thing is, if they see that you do not do this, you do not take ownership of misbehaviors, take ownership of misconduct, not completing a job, not being prepared, why would they be accountable as well? Why would they want to have that sort of behavior? I mean, if you're not doing it, why would they, right? Very blatantly, monkey see, monkey do. Why would anyone be interested in doing so if they see that their leader does not do the same thing? Now, back in Peru, I've had also another displeasure of seeing that happen. Managers don't take responsibility for the actions, but in fact blame their people, blame subordinates, I would say, on the actions that they've done. So in fact, it's a turnaround. I mean, like, it's gonna happen as well. So when they misbehave, when they do something that doesn't abide by the rules, or they don't accomplish something, they're gonna blame the next person. So again, accountability starts with you leaders. Here's my experience. At one time, I had a creative thought of taking a photograph, a very creative photograph of team members. I'm gonna be detailed here, okay? Of my colleagues and I posing in front of each security camera in the office. And what we did was we kind of made a little sign, and then I posted that, like a complete sign, a complete picture of the CCTV footage of like us. And apparently that was very disapproved of by management. I wasn't a manager at that time. I wasn't head of anything. I was just one of colleagues. And yeah, we got disciplined. We had a talking, and our manager at that time blamed one of the person who was the head of us, why didn't you stop them? Why did you let this happen? I saw that that wasn't right because it was my idea. So of course what I did was I told this person's manager that it was my fault. It was my idea. Don't blame him. This was all me. So if you want anyone to blame, blame me. Now I don't know if that was seen positively, but the guy who was our leader still got talking to, but I don't know. But the thing is, I felt better about myself after that. I felt like I showed a really good example to the other team members. And that's where it starts. It doesn't even have to be a leader. It can be somebody from your team as well, a colleague, someone down below, anybody. You just need to have that there, present. The culture will eventually build from that. Now back to leaders. You are always, 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 always accountable for anything that happens. Yes, you are. If you don't like to hear that, you gotta hear it because it's the truth. You're always accountable for anything that your team members do. It's part of the job description. That isn't even in the contract, but you have to have that skill. If you don't, start growing it, start developing it. It will definitely have a negative impact on the company and yourself and your team members below you. It's not a one-time thing. Accountability is not a one-time thing. You have to be accountable all the time. Again, be it something good, be it something bad. You gotta be professional. Own up to your shit. Own up to their shit. It's going to have a positive impact. At first it's gonna be negative, but it's gonna have a positive impact not only on you, not only your company, but on the people who you have portrayed this accountability to, who you have owned up to. So again, I've worked with many different companies. I've worked with CEOs directly. I've worked with founders directly. I've worked with managers directly. I've worked with people of different industries, tech industries, creative industries. I've worked with YNR. I've worked with McCann. The thing is, I have been accountable. They have been accountable. When they don't do their shit, I call them out on it. And they are very accountable because these big companies are known around the world. Big companies, for real. Worldly known companies have an image to uphold. Think about that image. A professional image. Word goes around, and if they know that you are responsible, that goes around as well. You're irresponsible. That definitely is something you don't want to go around. You are setting yourself, your team, everybody else up to be successful when you portray this, when you own up to things, when you're responsible and take ownership of duties you don't do. Again, failure is very common. Failure happens all the time. No one is going to bite your head off, literally. No one's gonna bite your head off. And if they do, figuratively, take ownership of that. You're gonna learn from it in the end. When you are accountable, you start to understand the needs of what is needed, of the project. You can see what's lacking and what isn't, right? You can understand where you're wrong, where your faults are, or where things work. That's what you want. I've worked in so many teams, number of companies, and seeing that being portrayed is very uplifting. I mean, when you take ownership of something negative, yeah, it's a downer. But again, like I said, it helps you grow. I feel personally that it leads to being successful or unsuccessful in a team. It helps let your team know what it is to look out for. It gives an opportunity of support towards them. Not only that, leaders, managers, CEOs, it gives you a chance to be praised. It gives you a chance to get encouragement, and it helps move people further. It motivates them. I have many times taken the faults of my marketing team back in Peru. But the thing is, I don't do it in a way that's negative. I take the blame when something goes wrong, yes. And it does make them see that I am a stronger person. But I tell them, Like, okay, it makes me, well, if you guys are watching this, let me know if I did that right. They make me stronger as well. Understanding that we are working as a team, that we have to be at fault with whatever thing we did wrong, makes us grow, makes us stronger, makes us know what we can do so we don't do that again. It's something that just needs to be developed over time. It's a culture that you need to implement within yourself, within your company. You have to be consistent with it. Yeah, some people don't want to get off their high horse and maybe want to defend their team. But the thing is, that goes nowhere. If you don't apologize, if you don't take responsibility, they're going to do the same thing. They do something wrong, they're not going to apologize. They're not going to take responsibility, neither grow from it. So you need, as a leader, you have to tell them what it is that's needed. When something goes wrong, apologize. I've been a salesperson, so I understand when clients have needs. You go, I understand, I hear what you're saying. Let me know, or let me know what it is to make things better. Or let me tell you what you need to make things better. I apologize again. I hear you out. You're talking to people who you want to work for, who you want to get projects from. So you need to show that you care about their needs. This is number one when it comes to marketing, sales, creative agencies, to tech companies, to food industries. Your job is to make the client happy. Care about their needs is the number one thing. It's not getting the job done only, but getting the job done with what they need, what they're expecting. And of course, if you can't provide that, explain why. You cannot put the blame on somebody else, look like you don't know what's going on. There needs to be answers because, again, like I said in the beginning of this video, the world is changing. People are starting to get a little bit more professional. And if you're in a culture where that isn't implemented, you got to start it. Start that culture. Let me know what you think about this. Share it to people who you think don't have the skill but need to grow it. I'd like to know what you have to say. Be it good or bad, I'm always here to develop myself and learn from you guys because these are my experiences and I would like to hear yours as well. Maybe we can compare thoughts. All right, guys. Don't forget to comment, like, share, maybe even subscribe. But do tell me in the comments below what you think. All right, ciao, ciao.